Hello you guys, it's Katie and welcome back to another video. Today, as another sort of end of the year or beginning of the new year, I guess I should say, video, we are going to be discussing my top bestsellers from all of my markets in 2024. So I'm super excited to share this with you guys. We are doing the top 15 best-selling items from my markets. So these are all amigurumi patterns. If you guys watch me at all, you know that I pretty much solely make amigurumi. So these are all amigurumi items, and these are all of my bestsellers and what I charge for them at my markets. So for all of these items, if I have it in person here to show you, which I am pretty low on my stock, so I only have a handful of items here to show you, but if I don't have one to show you, I will put up a picture on the screen of what it looks like. And then of course all of the pattern links will be linked below for all 15 of these patterns in the order that I am telling you them. So we're gonna go from number 15 and how many of that one sold and what its price was and everything, all the way to number 1. And if you guys enjoy this style of video, let me know. I sort of did this as an Instagram reel last year for like my top 3 bestsellers, I think I did, but I never did any sort of YouTube video like this, and I thought, why not give you guys the full breakdown of how many I sold of each of my bestsellers and then the specific order for this year, because the order for this year is actually a little bit different from last year anyway. So with that, we're gonna get into this, but just so you know, all of the patterns are linked below for you. And by the way, for 2024, I sold at 15 different events. I do have market vlogs and breakdown videos, all sorts of things on this channel for almost every single one of those events. I think there's only 1 or 2 maybe that I didn't end up doing a video for. So if you guys are interested in checking out those videos and hearing more details on which events specifically items were good sellers at and all of that, I will link my market video playlist below so you guys can find those videos as well. And of course, just see my market setup and what it all looks like on a market day. But anyways, with that out of the way now, just wanted to let you know that it was 15 events that all of this information is coming from, all 15 of those events together. Some of them were 3 days, some of them were only like a handful of hours, so it's just dependent, but it was 15 events total that I sold at in 2024. All right, so number 15 at the bottom, we have 9 of this item sold, and that is my mini bees. So I don't have one of these here to show you, but this is what the pattern looks like. The mini bees is a crochet pattern that I sell on my Etsy, and it is a no-sew pattern. It is super quick because it is no-sew and it's super tiny, hence the name mini bee. So I have a little minis bin that is $5, and this is included in that bin. So I sold 9 of those this year, which I feel like 9 is a pretty good number because I didn't start making those, I don't think, until maybe like March or April, so it wasn't even the full year that I was actually selling those. So 9 of those being sold is pretty good, and the mini items isn't something that I really prioritize. If my stock is low on everything, I'm not making those first. So still 9 of them being sold is pretty decent, I think. All right, next for number 14 and number 13, there is a 2-way tie. So that tie is between the ducks and the chunky mushrooms. I sold 12 of both of those. The ducks are $14 each, so I sold 12 for $14 each. And then the mushrooms are $15 each. So again, 12 of those. So the chunky mushrooms, I actually, for whatever reason, kind of forgot about and stopped making those towards the end of my market season. So having 12 of those sold throughout the year is pretty good because it was only the first handful of my markets that I actually had those in stock. And then again, just for whatever reason, didn't prioritize making those. So I didn't have them in stock for my last couple events, but still had 12 of them sell throughout the year, which is pretty good. And then the ducks, again, had 12 of those sell. I do make those pretty regularly. I honestly just like making them a lot, so whenever I have them sell out, I pretty typically will make those again. So yeah, 12 of those. Next for spot number 11 and 12, there's also a two-way tie for two different items, and that is my chicks and the fried eggs. So the fried eggs and the chicks, I sold 13 of each. So pretty close to the last items as well. I only sold one more of each of those. And again, a lot of these items that are on the bottom of the list aren't really ones that I super prioritize because they aren't the absolute best sellers. So the items that are higher on this list are ones that I prioritize more when my stock is super low, which did happen quite often this year because my life was crazy. But anyways, we have the chicks for $12 and the fried eggs for $10. That both of those, honestly, at most of the events, I was not able to keep in stock. So I sold 13 total between all 15 of the events. So probably some of them I didn't have any of them made. I know that for sure, actually, especially with the eggs. Some of them I didn't have any of them made, and then some of them I had like a whole bunch. So just dependent. Like I said, if you want to know the specifics on events, then you can check out those videos. Anyway, we have another tie for the next items. So I'm sorry if this is a little bit confusing. For whatever reason, a lot of them ended up selling the same amount. Don't know why. But anyways, the next tie is a three-way tie, and that is my 8th, 9th, and 10th bestseller items. So for each of those, I sold 15 of them. And that is the bees, which I don't have any here to show you, but I do use my own free bee pattern for this. And I also have a YouTube tutorial up for this, so if you're more of a beginner and you want to start making amigurumi for your markets, this is a good one to check out because you can follow the tutorial. And then we have my mini octopus, which is again in that $5 minis bin. And then we have the chicken nuggets, which I do have a chicken nugget here to show you. My only one that's left. I have a little angry chicken nugget. I make these all the time and people love them. And I think this was another one, I could be mistaken, but I think this is another one that I really wasn't selling that much last year. But this year was a really good year for them. So for the bees, mini octopus, and chicken nuggets, I sold 15 of each of them. The bees are $15. The mini octopus, again, are $5. They go in that $5 mini bin. And then the chicken nuggets are $8. So that is the number 8th, 9th, and 10th spot for a three-way tie because, again, I sold 15 of each of those. Next item is my regular octopus. So I sold 16 of those. And I do have an example here to show you of that. So this is what these little guys look like. I sell them for $12 each. They are pretty quick to work up. And people love these, especially in the fun multicolors. As you can see, I did this one in a multi-gray. But I normally do them in like cute pastel blues, purples, things like that. And I will say they definitely sell better in those colors than they do in a gray. But I still like the gray too. But anyways, I sold 16 of these for $12 each. This is another no-sew pattern, so it is pretty quick to work up as well. A good portion of these patterns are actually no-sew, or at least I modify them to be no-sew. So these are my like lower priced items, which is why they're best sellers pretty much, because if somebody comes up to your booth with like 3 kids, they're gonna say you can each get a $15 item. They're not gonna, most of the time at least, sometimes it happens, but most of the time they're not gonna be like, pick out whatever you want, and then one kid gets like a $30 item and the other one gets a $5 item. Most parents obviously are like, that's not really fair, so you both can get something that's $10 or $15 or whatever. So anyways, for that reason, I sell a lot of these smaller items and tend to make a lot of them as well to keep them in stock. But anyways, octopus, $12, sold 16 of them throughout the year 2024. All right, 5 and 6, we have a two-way tie, and this is the final tie, I promise. I apologize that it's a little confusing. Again, I'm not sure how it happened, but I just had quite a few items that I ended up selling the same amount of them for whatever reason. So this tie is for frogs, specifically leggy frogs. These are one of my, again, best sellers. I mean, we're at the top 5 and 6 now. So definitely one of my best sellers. And then pickles. I don't have any pickles in person here to show you, so I'll put it on the screen. But I do the pickles with all sorts of different faces as well. Like on this chicken nugget, you saw the angry face. I do angry face, happy face, and straight face pickles. And same with the chicken nuggets and a few other items. I do funny little faces like that. So anyways, the pickles I sell for 15 and the frogs I sell for 12. And again, it was a two-way tie for those items. So I sold 19 of each of those. So again, pretty good. We're getting the numbers up way higher for the amount of each item I sold. Oh, and by the way, I should mention this to you guys as well. This is just from my markets. I should have said this in the beginning, but whatever. I did sell at one in-person store throughout the holiday season that was temporary. And then I also have a permanent in-person store that I sell at. And these items are just totals from my markets and the actual pop-up events, not those stores included, just so you know. But most of these items are repeats for what was good sellers at those places as well. So anyways, number 4 with 20 items sold is my $12 Triceratops. So these are another one that are pretty quick to make. They're no-sew. People love them. I was making them in Perfect Chunky and they were pretty small. I started making them with Burnette Blanket recently and I find that they sell even better because they're a little bit bigger, and then there's also more fun multicolors you can do with Burnette Blanket, which is why Burnette Blanket is like my main go-to yarn. So people have loved these this year, and pretty much since I started making them, they have been a great seller. So definitely a great item to have at your markets. Next, for the number 3 spot, we have possums, opossums. The correct way to say it is opossums, because possums and opossums are different animals. You guys don't care about that. Whatever. These little guys. I sold 28 of them throughout my markets this year. By the way, I'm saying this year because it's still 2024, but by the time you're seeing this, it's 2025, so whatever, you know what I mean. But I sold 28 of them, which seems crazy. I never expected these little guys when I started making them to be so popular, but they have been pretty much ever since I started making them. And they're one of the only items that has not died down for me. I would say these top 3 items are the only ones that have not died down for me. A lot of the items, like the chicks and the ducks, when I first started making them, they were super popular and I would sell them. Now I have quite a few times that I'll still have a few left over, but these top 3 items I would say are the ones that I almost always sell out of, or at least am very close to selling out of if I don't fully sell out of them. So anyways, these possums are definitely on the bestseller list for a reason, obviously, because people just love them and cannot get enough of them. So those are $12 each. Can't remember if I said that already. I charged $12 for each of them and barely can keep them in stock. Pretty much most of my markets, I sit there and make them and I'll put it out and it sells, and I'll put it out and it sells. So definitely a good item. Next, for the number 2 spot, we have, probably pretty predictable, axolotls. So I sold 30 axolotls in 2024, which seems like a crazy number. I sell those for 15 each and people just love them. And I do them in all sorts of different color combinations, and again, kind of self-explanatory. It's a bestseller. People love them. But yeah, this is the specific pattern I use. It's a no-sew one. I honestly, looking at my list here, there's not a single one of these patterns that require sewing. The possum pattern that we just talked about is technically a pattern that you sew, but I modify it myself to be no-sew. But every other pattern that's on here is specifically written to be a no-sew pattern. So if you can't tell, I love my no-sew patterns, and these ones are great ones because people love buying them. So you can't beat it. But anyways, 30 axolotls for $15 each across my 15 events. Final item, which is the bestseller by quite a lot. And I know I sold quite a few of these at my in-person stores as well, so this is even more. It's probably not double the amount, but maybe close to it. So, drum roll please. Chickens are the best seller, which does not surprise me at all. I believe it was my second or third bestseller for 2023, and I only started crocheting and selling these towards like September in 2023. So the fact that it was so high on my list last year and I hadn't sold it throughout the whole year, I pretty much knew it was going to be my number one for this year, and I sold 42 of them for $15 each. So that is definitely a lot, and like I said, with my in-person stores as well, I would estimate that this is closer to like 65, 70 that I actually sold throughout 2024. So pretty crazy for sure, and I sell them again for $15 each. These little guys are so fast and so cute, and they're one of my go-tos. That's why I end up selling so many of them and having so many in stock. When I'm in the car, when I'm on vacation, just don't want to bring that much yarn with me wherever I'm going, or even just don't feel like getting up to get stuffing and the eyes and all of that stuff. These you can make just the body and then finish them later, which I do them in kind of an assembly line. So I will make a bunch of the bodies and then go through and add the eyes and the beaks and the top piece here and stuff them and everything all at once. So because of that, this is like my go-to plushie, I feel like. And obviously people love it. I think I only have 2 in my stock currently, and again, that's just because I crochet them so much, but normally those sell out for me. The only time this year in 2024 that they didn't sell out for me, that I can think of at the top of my head at least, I think there was twice they didn't sell out for me. One was my Halloween events, and I made black ones, and I guess people didn't like those. I did black with red eyes. There's specifically, I know, a chicken in Stardew Valley that is black with red eyes, so that's why I made a couple of those, and I only sold like 1 or 2 of them. So because of that, I didn't fully sell out of the chickens, but I did sell out of all of the regular like gray, orangey, white, whatever colors that I typically do. I did sell out of all of those at pretty much every single one of my events, at least off the top of my head this year. So yeah, goes to show you these are a really good seller. And then, yeah, like I said, the axolotls and possums are also, cannot keep them in stock. People really, really love them. So yeah, those are definitely the big takeaways if you are watching this video. I assume if you're watching this video, you're probably looking to sell at your own markets, or you do sell at your own markets and you want to hear from somebody else what their best sellers were throughout a year-long period. I hope you found this helpful, if that is the case and that's what you're looking for, or if you're just watching this video for fun and you're curious what kind of crochet stuff people are buying and liking. I hope you found this video helpful and just enjoyed in general. Yeah, I love doing these kinds of videos for you guys, especially if they're able to help you in your own business. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this video, and especially let me know if you also sell your crochet. Let me know what your best-selling items have been throughout 2024 or just throughout the past couple of months, whatever. Let me know what your top-selling items have been. I always love trying out new patterns and especially giving you guys feedback on how well they have sold for me. So I would love to be able to present to you even more new patterns this time next year that were hopefully bestsellers for me in 2025. If you guys did enjoy this video though, and you want to see more like this one in the future, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up If you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on these style videos or all of my videos in general, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification bell. That way you know every single time I post a brand new video here to my channel. And if you want to check me out other places, you can follow me at Katie Being Creative everywhere. I'm most active over on my Instagram, but you can also follow me on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, all of the places. I am just at Katie Being Creative. And finally, just a reminder that all of these crochet patterns, plus my other market videos from 2024 and even previous years on that market video playlist, will be linked below for you guys if you're interested in checking out any of these patterns for yourself or checking out those previous videos to see what good sellers were at specific events, such as like Halloween events and summer events and all of that kind of stuff. So anyways, with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys here in the next one. Goodbye.